Well read. What are we talking about today?
Today, Matt, is an exciting day. We're talking about a special exclusive prologue that was released only in Japan of the Sonic 3 film, Sonic X Shadow Tokyo Mission Zero. This short little magna this short little preview manga was handed out free to Japanese audiences when they would go see the Sonic 3 film. This was done to encourage audience goers to come and watch the movie because Sonic doesn't quite get the same amount of traction in Japan as it does here in the US. Was it worth it? That's the question that we're going to answer today as we look at the prologue to the Sonic 3 film, Sonic X Shadow Tokyo Mission Zero.
Yeah, the comic starts off with a nod that I thought was very interesting. It's a very short comic. Obviously, it's free, preview premium kind of giveaway give an incentive to the Japanese moviegoers for the international audience. And but it starts off with a nod to Sonic Adventure 2, the Radical Highway level. Which is Shadow's first level where you get to zoom around a highway at night, and he's perched atop about on top of the bridge. So the imagery they're channeling there is straight out of the video game, and so this comic takes place. It's basically an unfilmed scene. So in the film, they say, "Oh, this alien is rampaging in Tokyo," and then we're following Team Sonic, and then they dive in, and Shadow has already made a mess out of Tokyo. So in this preview comic, we basically see what led up to that. It's just Shadow making a mess of things for a few pages.
Which was fun, honestly. Like some of the representations here, I like the art. They
Yeah,
were
the art's
showing,
good.
yeah, they were showing the crowd, and had some interesting faces in there. So it was just a couple of extra scenes. It would have been like a few frames added to the film, just right before the fight that happens at the very beginning, where Team Sonic first encounters Shadow in downtown Tokyo, and they have their big rumble. This is leading up to that moment where it's showing us what exactly was Shadow up to before Team Sonic arrived on the scene.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
couple other.
I
Oh, good.
I like the art in particular. It's better than the previous manga that we read, in my opinion. As far
Really?
as yeah, like depict well,
Because
for
there was a
some of
couple
the
awkward.
people,
Okay.
just is that what you're thinking?
Well, I was gonna say there was a couple awkward panels. I think it's the first one of it's on page 2, and like the
No.
first time you see Shadow running, there was like one panel it looked really stiff. So there's I mean it's clear that like this comic was put together pretty fast. It's hey, make a promo comic. I think it's got some edge to it. It's a little rough. It's not as
Yeah.
polished. But again, it's Shadow, so it being a little rougher around the edges, edgy as it were, it kind of fits the subject matter. And it's a free promo comic. I wasn't really holding it against it.
Yeah. It's a free comic that you got for going to see a movie that added like a few extra scenes to the movie you're watching. So, and he gets into a fight and he kicks some ass in there too. So, and it's nice to see what the manga version of Shadow looks like, especially if you're not a reader. There's currently an ongoing manga series of Shadow that's available in Japan. And this is meant to
Which is
also
also another promo just for a video game as opposed to a film.
exactly.
Mm. Mhm.
So everything's promoting everything else there.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
I want to
So
hear more. I want to hear more from Matt. What do you think about the? Because what do you think about the art that's standing out more than the other Shadow series?
yeah, Matt, we're
Well,
gonna hold you to the wall for that
Yeah,
comment.
yeah.
it's reminding me that there's something funny about the Sonic universe. Growing up, I think a lot of us just assumed like this is Sega, this is from Japan, this style of drawing like bad boy like cartoon animals is something that's native to their wheelhouse, and we're being exposed to it. And I feel like I feel like this manga is reminding us that it doesn't fully translate into what manga does, and there's a bit of reinterpretation that has to happen for it to fit, and that's kind of neat. It's nice when people aren't staying on model with these characters, and they kind of have to internalize them into their style system, and that's what we got here. Feel like it was drawn by a very competent mangaka artist, but it was this, this doesn't look like what I was, like tracing into my like science textbook in seventh grade. I don't know about you guys. It's like not quite there, which is kind of neat. That's a little more exciting. It just feels like, to your point, it felt a little more raw and a little rougher. And I
Mhm.
think that makes it a little more, it gives it that edgy appeal that I think Sonic, that really captivated kids in the 90s, particularly boys.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, how that other Shadow series continues. Obviously, if you want to see more of us covering Sonic content, take a look at our two-part look at the Sonic film and the Shadow promotional comic for Shadow Generations that we did.
And if you can get a copy, go to eBay and try to pick up this very exclusive little piece of material of the Sonic 3 film. Only available in Japan, but you can get it if you're an avid hunter of Sonic memorabilia. But be forewarned, it is in Japanese, so buyer beware.
Thank you very much for checking out the video. Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more.